Good morning everybody, I am Sarah with the trains, and today I'm at Ely Station ready to embark on a train journey voted for by my lovely YouTube subscribers and followers on Twitter. Today I'm heading off on the line to Peterborough. Now my first stop of the day is going to be Mania, but we've got a little bit of time at Ely first, so a little bit of time to spot a train or two, I think. Got a little grin off of the driver on that one.
Welcome to this service for Peterborough. We will be calling at Mainy, March, Whittlesea and Peterborough. The next stop will be Mainy. There are short platforms at Mainy. To exit, move back. 2 coaches.
Just had a very quick announcement that the platforms at the station I now know is pronounced Mainy are very short, and so I've had to move back down the train 2 coaches, or else I would be stuck. was 66616. A good old Freightliner shed hauling some freight. And already the level crossing has gone down again. As always, stand back from the platform edge because just like the Freightliner before it, this train ain't stopping at Manny. So we have now made it to the station I now know to be pronounced as Manny, not Mania. So yes, at this point, for some reason I did start saying Manny instead of Maney, even though I knew that's the way it was supposed to be pronounced. Let's just blame it on the fact that I hadn't yet had a cup of coffee today, and try and pretend that every time I say Manny, I'm really saying Maney. Which kind of explains why when I left the house this morning and said to my boyfriend that one of the stations I was going to was Mania, he said, I've never heard of that one. So the line from Ely to Peterborough, or as it's also known the Hereward Line, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, was opened in 1847, and it provided a connection between the line from London that went via Cambridge and the line that went from Ely to Brandon and Norwich, which had opened in 1845. Along with a few other stations on this line, Manny was actually earmarked for closure during the beaching cuts. It was saved from closure in 1966 by Minister of Transport Barbara Castle, although other stations on the line did still get closed, unfortunately. Now we've had that very brief history of this very tiny station, let's have a quick run round and run down of the station facilities here at Manny. We have station signs, of course. A great big old barrel that's been made into a planter. And the sign on it says Street Pride, Fenland, Cambridgeshire, Fenland District Council. I'm going to go ahead and guess that Fenland District Council had something to do with this one. There's quite a delightful wooden waiting shelter on platform number 1. Looks very, very new. I like that we've got a bit of a retro styling going on the roof of the shelter. In here is a great big poster about the Hereward Community Rail Partnership. Also a bench. Down here within the shelter this time we've got the accessibility ramp and a poster about a public survey into Manny Station and car park. Further down the platform we've got another planter and a nice little bench, a blue bench this time. Again, I won't be sitting on that because it's freezing cold today. And another planter. Lots of planters. Rather big planters this time. They're usually small. Down here, we have got the flappy plastic bin, as well as, oh I love these, a grit bin, and information posters about the station and the surrounding area. The how to get assistance for your journey sign, as well as a departure screen, and the ticket machine. Even more information, bit more information, the cycle parking, including a bike. Somebody has parked up here. Oh, 2 bikes, sorry, I didn't see that one because it's fallen over and isn't locked. Over on the other side of the line, we have the signal box. We also have a lovely Welcome to Manny sign, which shows you points of interest in the area. That's going to be very useful. Now, the reason that poster is going to be very useful to me today is because there is something about 3 stations in between here and Peterborough. They are all, for the most part, 2-hour waits. There are a few trains per day that do bridge that sort of gap, but unfortunately they happen at such times that I'm not going to benefit from them. So I'm going to need to spend quite a bit of time at each place. Now though, let's go and check out the facilities on platform number 2. Access to the other platform is over the level crossing. have a how to get assistance for your journey sign, a flappy plastic bin, a milepost marker thing. What's the proper name for that? I'll have to look it up. Some drawings, which I assume are by kids at the local primary school. Train timetable, always useful. Departure screens. Above a help point. More information signs further down the platform. Planters again, but not as big this time. Right down the bottom of the platform, we have got a blue bench again. Down there, you should be able to see, as I've zoomed in, there is an old semaphore signal. And that is still in use because I've seen it move up and down, and there is a fella in the signal box down there. The waiting shelter here on platform 2 is a shed looking thing. Let's go and see what's inside it. We've got benches of two sorts, little table, a non-flappy bin. Ooh, some more information. What about exploring the Bittern line? Interesting. And a ton of leaflets. Excellent. Ooh, and one about the Hereward Line, so I'm going to grab one of those. There is also this Manny Matters magazine, so I think I'll grab one of those too, because Manny is not a place I know anything about, and I think this might be interesting. This waiting room really does put me in mind of the little shed waiting room that there is at Brundle Gardens, and I was really fond of that as well. Oh, the level crossing is going down again. Now we've seen that train, let's head out of the station and see what else Manny has to offer. We have the Manny station car park, and there are some people there having a driving lesson, so I'm just gonna wander off right now. So having explored the station to its fullest, I now have about an hour and a half until my next train, so I'm going to take a walk into Manny and see what there is to see. After a 20-minute walk, we have reached the village centre at Manny. Even got a bench that says Manny. I have found a public footpath to Manny Pit, which is somewhere on the map I want to go to, so let's take a walk down there. Here we are, we made it. This is Manny Pit. Did you enjoy that? Good, because we've got to go again, because I got a bit lost on that footpath and had to double back on myself, so now we've got to race back to Manny Station to get the next train to March. I am now back at Manny Station, ready to get my train to March. I did have to run part of the way here because I kind of stopped off for a few minutes to pet a dog. 158852, that actually made the platform shake a little. So I am now here at March. That train was suitably rammed and it was standing room only, unfortunately. The platforms here are quite crowded as well because there's another train due, but that's been delayed. So I decided to come outside to talk to the camera. Now, the station here at March opened in 1847 with the line, and it actually became a major junction station. It had lines going off all over the place, and it had 7 platforms, some of which are now sadly disused. I think I'm going to hand over to Narration Sarah to talk you through all that. Thanks, Past Sarah. In addition to the Ely to Peterborough line, which opened in 1847, branch lines also opened to Wisbech in 1847, St Ives in 1848, and Spalding in 1867. Sadly, only one of these lines remains. The St Ives branch closed in 1967, the Spalding branch was closed in 1982, and the Wisbech branch, also known as the Bramley line, finally closed in 2000, having lost its passenger services in 1968. Of the original 7 platforms, only 2 are still in use. 2 bay platforms were filled in. Track has been lifted from a west-facing bay platform, but 2 of the disused platforms have actually had track relaid, and there is a proposal for a heritage line to Wisbech to be opened. Interestingly, in 2021, a Victorian ledger was uncovered in the loft area of the station when contractors were removing rotten woodwork. There have been proposals to put this on show, but I didn't see it when I was there at the station. Now that Narration Sarah has given us that brief history, I think it's time to explore the facilities that we've got here at March. Out here we have the station car park and the lovely old station building. We've also got a really big grit bin. I heard the sound of a DMU and couldn't resist the urge to come back to the platform. We got to see a lovely 170 Turbo Star. Here on the platform we have got benches and planters, information signs about the Hereward Line, a lot of cycle parking, and an Amazon locker. See what I mean about a lot of cycle parking? I think the only place I've seen more cycle parking is Cambridge. And you know, that's Cambridge. I love that so much of this architecture is still in place. It's really beautiful. We have a ticket machine. In here we've got the ticket office, benches and toilets. And even a place to charge stuff. We have got accessibility ramps, flappy plastic bin, bench, and a lovely help point. Of course we've got station signs as well. Now let's take a little trip over the footbridge. Oh, just noticed a postbox. Ooh, and much like at Harlyn Road, it is a very old one. Queen Victoria. Let's go up the footbridge. Really nice view of the line from up on the footbridge. And I can hear that level crossing going down. Ooh, and what's this? Another turbo start? 176.18 this time. Over here on platform 2 we have got another ticket machine, even more cycle parking, at least that's what I think that is. We have a waiting room as well as a help point, accessibility ramp of course, more benches. Over here we've got a flappy plastic bin that's been turned, well it's not even been turned inside out, it's just been twisted up for some reason. Here we have information signs, including a warning about fines, quite rightly. So heading out this way we are going to find the level access between the platforms. And as we go out, here is a view of the disused platforms that I'm sure Narration Sarah will have mentioned. Level access between the platforms is across the level crossing. And also out here we've got the signal box. We also still have the station hotel building, but from the fences around it, it seems like it's might just be derelict. That was 158812. Now that we've explored March Station and seen a few trains, I've got a hankering to have something to eat, so I'm going to go and see what the little town of March has to offer. So, as if by magic, I am now back at March Station. I went and found the Greggs, had a nice chicken bacon, a hot chocolate, and then decided I was getting quite tired and needed to start the walk back to the station. Because for some reason I'm already exhausted. Who knows? I'm just now waiting for my train to my next destination, which is Whittlesea. nice one. We have made it to Whittlesea. Once again, that was an extremely crowded train. I really had to squeeze myself on and indeed off the train there. But we are here at Whittlesea. Now, this station was opened in 1847, the same as the others on the line. There is something very interesting here at this station, which is just, I can't stress how interesting this is going to be. Because up there, we've got old semaphore signalling, and down there, we've got manually operated gates. And I keep missing when the signal goes up. That little hut over there. Say today has been absolutely cracking with regards to freight. I'm now hanging out in the waiting shelter on platform 1 because it's starting to rain a little bit and the wind is getting up quite a lot right now. There's an interesting thing about Whittlesea station, and that is the spelling of this station name, which is Whittlesea, is different to the place name Witlesey. I feel like I should have Bully coming across the screen with a dictionary when I do that, really. But the reason for the difference in the spelling is that the station name is just an archaic version of the place name. Simple as that. Now that we've got the spelling out of the way, let's take a look at the facilities here at Whittlesea. We have got 2 staggered platforms. On platform 1 we've got a planter, another planter on the fence, a red bench, more planters and another red bench. We've got the tactile paving and another of these really lovely wooden shelters with the Hereward Community Rail Partnership logo on. Inside the waiting shelter we have got a bench and a Wendy's cup. Do we even have Wendy's in this country? If not, then, you know, sort of bravo to whoever brought that back. A polystyrene cup. Not happy about the littering, but some kind of achievement, I guess. Over here we've got the accessibility ramp. Here we have the ticket machine, another bench, departure screens, the help point, information signs, the lovely old semaphore signalling, the stop, look, listen, beware of trains warning, always a good one. Have to actually use a gate to get out. Oh, so arduous. Access between the platforms is across the level crossing. That was 755-423. So now we're on the other side of this rather magnificent crossing. Let's go take a look at the other platform. Convenient sign to tell you which platform you need for what train. Lots more information. The ticket machine. An information board about Whittlesea railway station. Tells you what things of interest there are in the local area. We do have a departure screen down here, but it's blank. Here we've got some cycle parking, complete with a rusty old bike chain. I'm guessing this area is supposed to be a car park for the station. Found a bit of a disused something. Have to find out what kind of disused something this is. Looks kind of like a platform, but I'll have to find out. Judging by its location and the decidedly dilapidated fencing, I believe this is actually the cattle pen indicated on this Ordnance Survey map from 1901. Over here on platform 2 we have got assistance for your journey sign, handy sign to show this is for trains, up on the platform we have got planters and a lovely bench in this little nook, as well as a grit bin. Love a grit bin. Over there you can see Whittlesea signal box. We also have onward travel information and another information board with stuff about the Hereward Community Rail Partnership. More planters, station sign, departure screen, help point, flappy plastic bin, rectangular this time. Ooh, and a bigger waiting shelter. Is there a Wendy's cup in this one? Alas, no. There is a cigarette butt though. On the other side of the line we do have a bit of overgrown track that seemingly goes nowhere. And that would look to me like an abandoned platform. I have just discovered some old buffer stops down here, behind platform 2. And indeed, some old track. Now much overgrown. Right, I know I go on about this a little bit, but standing behind the yellow line is important. And the reason I mentioned this is because I was stood well behind the yellow line when that freight train came through, and the air turbulence was still pretty significant, and I'm not the lightest person in the world, and I've always got my heavy laden backpack, but it rocked me a little bit. So imagine if you're a not so big person standing at the edge of the platform and the air turbulence and all that, and I don't need to fill in the blanks for you there, so stand behind the yellow line, please. So I just wanted to show you something that I've had with me today, I'm very glad of, and that is this. It's a pedal hand warmer, although it's got various other names in the hilariously badly translated instructions. I'm not promoting this. I don't even know where this has been bought from, because it was a present from my Secret Santa at work. And it is just a little electronic thing you can charge up, and then it will release heat for you to keep your hands warm. So I think my Secret Santa probably follows me on my Facebook or on my Twitter and hears me complain about having numb fingers quite a lot. So thank you, Secret Santa. This is very useful today. as I was enjoying that nice little walk, I am now heading back to the station, ready for my next train, because my previous train was about 15 minutes late, so I haven't had as much time at Wilsey as I'd originally planned, and also I just really don't want to get caught on the wrong side of the gates, because the trains are only every 2 hours. One thing I will just say before the train gets in to take me away to Peterborough, I think the Hereward Line is actually really great for doing a bit of train spotting, because you've got the variety of passenger and freight, and Whittlesey especially, because you've got things you don't see at most other stations, like the manual gates and the old semaphore signalling. And I'm a sucker for manual gates and semaphore signalling, and level crossings in general. 337 is taking us to Peterborough. So, although the light is fading, we've made it to the last station of the day, Peterborough. And to do the station history, you know what, I am just going to hand over to narration Sarah, because it's quite complex. This isn't even the original Peterborough station. There at one time were 3 stations in Peterborough, and there needs to be a visual, there needs to be a map, and she's going to take care of that right now. The first station in Peterborough, later to be known as Peterborough East, opened in 1845 with the Eastern Counties Railway line to Ely and the London and Birmingham Railway line to Northampton. Traffic on the London and Birmingham line expanded so much that in 1846 the track into Peterborough was doubled. The same year, part of the line from Syston to Peterborough opened. The Great Northern Railway opened a major part of its loop line between Peterborough, Spalding, Boston and Lincoln in 1848, also using Peterborough East. While the Great Northern Railway line to London was being constructed, it was decided that the GNR needed its own station. This opened in 1850, originally also named Peterborough, and this is the current station. It had various other names, changing to Peterborough Priestgate, Peterborough Cowgate in 1902, reverting to Peterborough in 1911, then changing again to Peterborough North in 1923 under the LNER, before reverting to Peterborough one final time after Peterborough East closed in 1966. Interchange between Peterborough East and Peterborough North proved to be difficult, so in 1858 the Midland Railway opened the third station in Peterborough, Peterborough Crescent, just to the south of Crescent Bridge. This was short-lived, however, and by 1863 some Great Eastern Railway trains were operating to Peterborough North, and by 1866 Midland trains had also begun using Peterborough North, thus making Peterborough Crescent redundant, and it was closed. The same year, the Great Northern Railway expanded its presence in Peterborough further by opening a line to Wisbech and Sutton Bridge. Services to Leicester also began in 1879. Over at Peterborough East, services to Rugby by the London North Western Railway started in the same year. Although services from Peterborough went far and wide, this was unfortunately not to last, as was so often the case. The GNR services to Leicester closed in 1916, the line to Wisbech closed in 1959, the line to Northampton closed in 1964, and services from Peterborough East to Rugby ceased in 1966, with the station closing that same year. In 1970, lines to Spalding, Boston and Grimsby closed, but the Peterborough to Lincoln line to Spalding did reopen in 1971. In 1976, the old GNR booking hall and east side buildings were demolished and replaced initially by porter cabins, then later by the building we see today. There are these days a grand total of 7 platforms at Peterborough Station, and there are even zones within each platform. Up there we've got a lovely footbridge. We've also got plenty of waiting rooms and food and drink outlets, ticket machines and all that good stuff, and benches of course. Let's head up the footbridge. So it's very much mission accomplished on the Azuma front. I have seen Azumas in the flesh. Slightly jealous of the lads at the end of the platform who to go and take a look at the cab. As well as the footbridge that is accessed by steps, you can also see another footbridge which is accessed by a level access ramp. I'd actually forgotten there was a footbridge that was accessed by steps at Peterborough. It's been so long since I've been here. I just remembered the ramp. Oh dear, oh dear. Just to be clear, asbestos is pretty much okay as long as it's left undisturbed, so don't be too scared about there being asbestos there. It's just if it gets damaged in any way, that might release the asbestos-y badness. Now I've got about an hour until I get a cross-country train to Ely to pick up a train to Norwich, and if it wasn't going quite so dark and I had more time, I would happily spend quite a long time spotting Peterborough. So I think maybe I'll have to earmark a day for just coming to Peterborough just to do train spotting. Sounds like a good idea to me. And maybe a trip on those Azumas too. Once again, I think I'm going to try and find something to eat and drink somewhere. I could just do that in the station. Maybe I will, I don't know. am now back at Peterborough station, ready to start heading home to Norwich. I just want to say thank you everybody so much for watching. Thank you for everybody who comments, subscribes, likes. Special thanks to all my donors on Ko-fi, Patreon and my YouTube channel members. Patrons and channel members, your names are coming up on the screen right now. As always, thank you so much for supporting the channel. You really do keep this channel going. And for anybody who'd like to become a channel member or a patron, the links are in the description below. I'll see you all next time for another railway adventure. Bye.